Hello Year 10, a really quick one today for me, and it's got 5 10-minute tasks on for you. So a 50-minute lesson. I'm not going to be talking the whole time at all. In fact, I'm just going to set up 5 mini transactionals that use inspiration from your poetry. So if you're in my class, you'll have seen these before, and I've added some new ones on, and I'll keep adding on. I've got 10 more transactionals to do for revision for the whole anthology. So I'm going to go through one of them with you. Again, if you're in my group, you'll have seen this before. This is English language revision for question 5 on paper 2. Now normally that's a 40-minute task where you look at the text type, audience and purpose, and you write creatively in a non-fiction style. So we're going to use some revision from the poem, so get your anthology out because you can be inspired by it contextually, by your annotation, and by the quotations themselves. So I'm just going to go through what this one would look like and then leave you to it. You've got 10 minutes on each slide, and again you can email me your answers. For my set you'll have done a few of these, but I'll be adding on new ones every day. They're the bottom 2 you haven't studied before. So this one says, you are the Duke and you're in charge of a magazine entitled A Handy Guide for a Happy Husband, 101 Ways to Help Your Wife. What I'd like you to do is create an article advising how a wife should and shouldn't act. So it's going to be quite funny. It's obviously from the perspective of the Duke, and his audience are going to be men like him. You might be inspired by Mr. Burling or Gerald Croft in terms of how you write or who you're writing for. An article is the text type, and the purpose is to advise them. So that's this gentle persuasion. What I'd like you to do is not just write a list of tips and include a snappy and funny introduction. You can see my example here borrows from the poem and uses 2 quotations, one paraphrase and one with the quotation marks around it. It says, fed up of your wife's blushing cheeks? Why not try these training tips before all smiles stop together? So obviously you can see the blush on her cheek is the paraphrase from the potential poisoning or strangulation from the Duke, and all smiles stop together is the turning point in the poem where we realise that he has had her killed. So I've put it into a non-fiction style. I've used a rhetorical question, an exclamation mark at the end to engage your reader. What I'd like you to do is do a 10-minute exercise on each of these transactionals where you're advising or persuading or doing something creative, and the stimulus is the poems that you studied. This is a starter PowerPoint. There's 5 of them on there, and we've obviously got 15 to study. So particularly my class, can you do this for revision? The last 2, Charge the Light Brigade and Exposure, you haven't done yet in terms of this piece. So give it a go, and I'll add on more poems as the days progress. Enjoy!